It was an incredible story that spread like wildfire across Australia. A new species of scorpions had emerged on the continent, infecting people with an unknown disease. Their sting led to madness and decreased brain activity, causing people to commit suicide in horrifying ways. It seemed like an unstoppable catastrophe, and finding a vaccine or cure was a daunting task. The story began in a small town in southern Australia. The local residents were the first victims, encountering these dangerous scorpions by chance. Their behavior changed radically after being stung. They became aggressive, unpredictable, and eventually lost the ability to think. Society was shocked and frightened by this unknown threat. As time went on, the number of cases began to increase, and the disease became an epidemic. People started searching for a way out, but no medical treatment could help. Scientists from around the world gathered together to unravel the mystery of this new species of scorpions and how they transmitted this disease. At the time when scientists were investigating possible causes and transmission methods of the disease, a young researcher from Europe, Elizabeth, arrived in Australia to join the research efforts. She had significant experience in studying viruses and infectious diseases. Elizabeth began studying the impact of these scorpions' sting on the human brain. She made every effort to understand why the sting of this species of scorpions caused such an aggressive reaction and impaired brain function. During her research, Elizabeth came across an interesting fact. The first person infected with this disease had contact with a man who had recently returned from Egypt. This man, Alexander, was a photographer and a researcher of mummies. The fact that he brought something from Egypt that could cause such a disease intrigued Elizabeth. She began investigating his travels and contacts with local animals. After several weeks of intensive research, Elizabeth discovered that Alexander had a habit of collecting artifacts from mummies, which could be very old. During one of his expeditions in Egypt, he unintentionally let a scorpion hiding in one of the mummies into his bag. And when he returned to Australia, this scorpion crawled out of his bag and started spreading the disease among other scorpions and eventually among humans. This discovery was groundbreaking for the scientists. Now they had the key to understanding the origin and spread of this dangerous disease. Elizabeth and her colleagues began developing a vaccine that could protect people from this new virus. Over the next few months, scientists worked on the vaccine, conducted clinical trials, and refined their treatment methods. Finally, when the vaccine was ready, a massive vaccination campaign began. Thanks to the dedication and ingenuity of Elizabeth and her team, they managed to overcome this disease. Gradually, the number of cases of madness decreased, and people returned to their normal lives. The story of the new species of scorpions and the epidemic they caused became a learning example for medical and scientific communities worldwide. It reminded everyone of the importance of observing safety measures during travels and research, as well as the need to study new species of viruses and infectious diseases to avoid similar catastrophes in the future.